All right, it's on.
I'm pretty sure it's part of that. Yeah, but remember there's death in Marvel. Yeah, but there's already a set. So I was thinking about two of them.
You're not playtesting.
I'm not playtesting. I was just watching them from the
All right, you can play, and we'll start our own thing. Okay. Let's see here. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the my second workshop of Art Strike. Sabrina over there asked if we were going to animate this week. Hell no. First off, most of you guys are just beginners in digital art, so you guys won't even know how to draw digitally, let alone animate digitally. So that's a start. So we'll have to ease you in, and we'll do that today by introducing you to Tilesets. Essentially, what Tilesets are used mostly for level design, but they're also used for UI design, sometimes for character design, especially for sprite sheets for sure. Tiles are perfect for that. Essentially, what they are is a modular way of implementing art into your game, where you'll create each. All right, why Tilesets? It's because it's what I said before. This stuff is modular. You're able to break you're able to break a big piece of art design, like say the characters or the level, and fragment that down into small little modular pieces, which will allow the level designers and programmers to build whatever they like out of those small pieces. So, for example, bam, this is a tile set. So you have different tiles of types depending on what kind of visual you'd like. Over here on the left is the actual tile map. We have grass blocks. We have slope blocks. This big one up here, my mouse. This big one over here is for like a large platform, and you can see the smaller down here is for a bit thinner platform, maybe floating platforms probably. You have props on this side, on this side. The important thing to take away from this is the whole setting or the whole level is fragmented into small pieces in order to allow level designers to create stuff like this, like this. And all of this whole level is designed from these small pieces, right? So it saves you a bunch of time, saves you a bunch of work, and it's super standard, industry standard. You've seen what we saw last time was a 2D tile set for more of a side-scrolling, maybe a Mario-esque type of tile set, type of level. But there are different types of ways to do tiles. There are things that you have to learn transiting between each of them, but their principles are mostly the same, in which they're all in the sense that they're all made of bits and bobs, and you match them up together. So here we have isometric. I know that one of the game projects requested this year wanted an isometric game design. So whoever is going to do that is going to have to learn how to do this. Now, like I said, different styles of games require different types of tile maps. So, like I said, the 2D platform more akin to Mario, maybe you'll have to do tiles for the top of the platform, bottom of the platform, the inner side of the platform, because you can see straight through things, right? So you'll have to make a tile for every aspect of that. Whereas in maybe more of a top-down game, like say Zelda or Pokemon, something like that, you only be seeing the top of the level, which means that you only have to draw the top of each prop. So as you can see like grass here, water here, quite a lot of variety. But you don't have to draw the sides of a platform or the bottom of the platform, because the characters never want to see that. So there's no point to do that. If you guys are assigned on a type of game and you don't really know how to build a tile set for it, I recommend going online and seeing how it's done in the game. If you're not familiar with it, say like isometric, never played an isometric game before. You would go in online or even play games yourself and just see how that level is created, how those tiles are drawn. Next slide. All right, how do you make a tile set? Big 3 principles make a tile set. Making the tiles seamless, sizing them properly, and making sure they're transparent. Moving to the first one. All right, seamless tile sets. So even though you want to make these tiles are made of blocks, you want to create the illusion that they're all one solid piece or one solid level. and how you do that is making it a word seamless. Make sure that each tile intersects with one another properly, so there's no gaps, there's no like rough edges or anything, so that the immersion is clear and the visual is clear. This is a big challenge for most drawing software. That's why, but Krita especially has this one cool tool, and that's why I recommend it to you guys. It's called Wrap. I'll show you guys in a bit, but essentially you press the W button and it will project whatever you're drawing in all directions symmetrically, so that you can test how seamless your tile is. Let's do a little demo of that actually. Ooh, infinity. All right, so here I have a basic 100 by 100 pixel tile, and let's say I'm building like dirt or something. Let's see here. Where's the fill tool? Here. Do that. Let's do a bit of this. Some grass on it. Doesn't matter. Size bigger. Let's fill that. Oh shit! Hold on, 1 second. Where's? Am I? No. Sorry. I'll show you guys how to do this in a bit. But it's essentially a problem with. Oh, really now? No. No. What's going on here? Is it one tile off? Let's just do this. Whatever. I'll show you guys how to do it later. Anyways, say you drew a grass block, yeah? But once you put it into the game and try stacking it, you'll realize that, oh, hey, it's not really symmetrical going side to side. You can see a rough edge between each grass block. So what it'd probably look like is I'll press W. This is wrapping. And you can see where that grass block kind of doesn't intersect properly. See, like right here, between this edge and this edge, there's a rough edge, and having that you don't want that in your game. You want to minimize that as much as possible, because doing that will break the immersion of your game and it'll break the visuals of your game. So what you do is, like I said, press W. I hope you guys have Krita on actually. We'll use that later. Press W for wrap, and you actually draw in between that edge there, and it will work perfectly like that. There you go. Rough edge is gone. And if you'd like, you can draw in wrap mode, and it will still work all the way around. In order to keep that symmetry correct. And this is for grass blocks. You won't be doing it like stacked on top of each other like this. But say for like a dirt block or a stone block that's like in the ground, you'll have to make it symmetrical along all 4 directions, or even all 8 directions. So like how do I fix this? Do a real quick demo of it, probably. Let's use a little bit more gray. Alright. So I go in here, I start drawing, make my little dirt. It's all symmetrical and stuff. And when I get out of it, you can see, yeah. So even though you're still drawing on block, if you're drawing in wrap mode, you'll make sure for certain that there'll be no rough edges. I just drew something on there on accident, so there you go. Rough edge is gone. So that's how you do it in Krita. There are ways to do it in Photoshop. It's really finicky, though. You have to do a bit of extra work to do it. If you don't have either of those, the very last option, I don't recommend it, is to import it into Unity. What Unity will do is once you import a tile in, and you change the asset, it'll dynamically change the asset within Unity. So what you can do is you can import whatever you got into Unity, and then tile it in there, and then as you change it in your image editor, it'll change within Unity. So that's another way to do it. Problem with that is though you're running two programs at the same time. You're running Unity and your image editor, because that can do quite a number on your processor. So that's like your last resort if you don't have either Photoshop or Krita. That's why we recommend it in the first place. Alright, next principle is proper sizing. You have to know both the PPI and the PPU of the game. I know those sound kind of funny, but essentially PPI is pixels per inch, and PPU is pixels per unit. I'll go into that in more detail in a bit. Alright, so PPI is more of an artist term. It essentially designates the scalability of your image. If you have a low DPI and you try to increase the size, it'll warp your image. Because what's that's doing is it's not retaining the how do I say? It's kind of hard to wrap your head around, but as a rule of thumb, higher PPI you can scale better and it won't distort as much, or it'll distort minimally. For the purposes of Unity though, and for most screens it's 100 PPI, 100 pixels per inch. So what that ends up, so if your game doesn't scale, which it usually won't, it won't zoom in or anything, you want to keep the PPI of your assets the same PPI of the TV screen or the monitor, which is going to be 100 PPI. Secondly, we have another thing called PPU, pixels per unit. How Unity is structured physically is that it's all distances and everything are measured in units. Well, Unity units. Wow. Anyways, so that means like your characters could be 2 units long, or a platform be 2 units wide. Essentially, what that is that translating to art assets. That means your character is 200 pixels long, or your platform is 200 pixels wide. That's what PPU means. And for the same reason, we want to keep PPI at 100, we keep PPU at 100, so that the scalability works, because it's going to be. They essentially should be the same at all times. PPI, PPU. Any questions about that?
So is DPI the same as PPI?
What?
Is DPI the same as PPI?
It might be. Isn't DPI dots per inch, right?
Yeah.
They might be the same. Yeah, they're probably the same. Any other questions? No. Okay. Cool. Let's see. Keep it decides on how. First off, when you're doing a tile, you have to decide how big the tile is going to be. Typically, it's going to be 100 by 100, just because of how screens work and how Unity works. So unless you're doing pixel art, then you don't have to do any of that. Another thing, if you're working with multiple artists, then make sure you're all on the same PPI and the same PPU, and I'll show you why. Here we go. We have 2 different assets made by 2 different artists. We have a dirt block and a grass block, wonderfully made, because I made both of them. But they are not the same PPI. You'll encounter this more in pixel art, but essentially this dirt block here is 32 pixels by 32 pixels wide, and the grass block is 16 by 16. And so what ended up happening is that, hypothetically, whatever, the quarter project requested the tiles to be made in 32 PPI, and they already did collisions in respect to 32 PPI or PPU, and we have someone who hasn't done in the right PPU. So what happens then? Well, if you try to put a grass block on top of this dirt block, it's not going to look quite right. What they're probably going to do first is trying to scale it. That's the worst thing that you can do as an art, because it just looks god ugly, and it won't display properly in Unity. It'll warp. I've seen it before. It warps weirdly. Yeah. The other thing they can do is like stack them. So instead of having one grass block, they just stack 4 together. Just because chances are they already did collider sort of thing, right? They already designed the physics, believing that the top tile will be 32 by 32 PPU. So either they change their programming physics, or you have to redo the art. So save yourself the step and just keep that shit consistent with programmers and all the other artists. Bad, no good. All right. Last thing is transparency. When you have when you're doing tiles, it's very important to have things transparent, because you don't want shit like a tree just having a white background in your game, right? You want things to stack on top of each other seamlessly and properly. Say you want to do it. Especially for top down. Say you want to have a grass block, and you want to put a tree in front of it. If that tree isn't transparent properly, it'd just be a tree under a white background. That's how it'll show up in the game, and none of us want that. So once you save your tiles, you wanted to save with transparency. I believe Unity will import Photoshop files just fine. Although I typically use PNGs for my format. Let's see here. What else we got here? Oh yeah. All right. So now that you know the three things, who can recall the three main principles in making tile sets? Anybody? How about the first one? Or just one of them? All right, that's one. Number two. Yeah. So size and scaling. Perfect. How about the first one?
Symmetry or
Yeah, seamless.
Seamless
Symmetry. Perfect. All right. So now that you know how to make a tile, some of you are probably interested in making pixel art. Here's the catch to pixel art is it's not as easy as you think. There's a lot of under the hood stuff that you have to make sure that you're doing. Otherwise, stuff won't scale properly. It won't look good at all. So we'll go into that in a later workshop. But for now, if you guys want to try pixel art today, and you're using Krita, there's one problem I ran into, where the pixel tool, it's not really a pixel tool, is it? It's got this weird, like, transparent smoothness. It's not that blockiness you're used to. So there is a way to help you guys out. Just who has Krita right now? All right, you guys can follow along. Perfect. Okay. So I have these slides up for you, but I'll just do it to you. I'll show it to you guys in Krita. How about that? Let's make a new tile. 100 by 100 by 100. What? So if you're doing a tile that is within the standard dimensions, you'll be 100 width, 100 height, and 100 PPI. That's what you guys will start off with. So how would you guys do that first? Make a new file, a new image, and make it 100 by 100 and 100 PPI. Do that first. Okay, so they're all one on top of each other. So 100 width, 100 height, and 100 PPI. Yeah. So what you're doing by setting it at 100 PPI is that you're setting the PPI to the properties of the monitor, meaning that it won't upscale properly if you do it in a monitor. I can show that to you right now. Let's see this. Let's make a little thing here, and let's go ahead and a lot of people are setting up their own. Wait, who already has 100 by 100 PPI? Everyone. Mostly everyone. Okay, that's good. Okay, I'll just show this to you right now, just so people catch up. Let's make a little blob here, and let us increase the size of our image. Let's make it 500 times larger. Now you can see, when I did that, on the bottom slider there, oh, it doesn't do it anymore. Anyways, what will happen is, the pixel size will increase, but the resolution will have to decrease in response, and what that will do is makes it look kind of blurry. You see that stuff? Makes it look kind of blurry. So what you gotta do instead, I'll make a new one, 100 by 100. Let's do 600 PPI. This is standard PPI for like digital art and stuff, just in case you want to make posters or T-shirts and you want that shit to scale. So 600 PPI, maybe 300, in around that range. Do this again. Scale image size increase by 500, and it should look better. Slightly. It looks slightly better. That's fine. But you get the idea. Let's not save this. All right, let's go back to this. All right. So, if you guys pull up, let's guys right click. And what this is, when you right click, you will get this pretty complicated looking wheel, but essentially this is like your specialized favorite tools wheel. This shows all your colors, Also shows all your favorite pens. So it's not shown here, but you guys should have a pen that looks a bit like. Oof. Oh yeah, I can't see it. It should look like a little nib. I can show it to you in here. It looks a bit like this. If you guys can see that, it's a super thin pen. It should be called Pixel Brush. And it should be in your favorites wheel. So just right click and you'll find that. Right, anyone have trouble finding that so far? Yeah. Okay, let me show you. How do you right click?
Oh, what?
How do you right click?
Me?
Alright, look for.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, okay,
Let me share. Never mind. What?
Who hasn't? Okay, let's see here.
I'm fine.
Oh.
Not
Have you changed your favorites probably? You must have overwritten it. Alright, if you don't see it, just go to here.
Oh, I like that.
Can I see the brightness of the Facebook video?
Forget to change my percent. Just making something.
Need a while. Yeah, I can't. There I have it. Anyways, I think you probably
Yeah,
should
I'm
like
pushing
push
it
it
right
right
here,
here.
so
So
it's
it's
the
you should be okay. You should be okay. You should be okay. Just start from here. Anyone else? Okay. Let's see your right click. Do you see that? Is it?
There's a way to send this.
It's a really tiny little thing. Your mouse. Yeah, I got it. One second. It looks like that. A super thin tip.
Is it different from the Pixel Art brush? Because I
Yeah.
found one under Pixel Art.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of the same.
So I guess it's only a problem for a few of us because I couldn't find one. You guys must have got some sort of asset type that gave you the Pixel Brush. Oh, people
I just
might
downloaded it
Unless
right
you
now.
create a 4.0, right?
Maybe it's a different version.
Possibly.
Yeah,
Possibly.
if you have an older version of Creator, that's why.
Possibly. Let's see here. Okay, I saw you first. Oh wow.
It's like mine's not W, so I'll just move you to. Do you have the latest version of Creator? Yeah, I just didn't. Oh yeah, that's Creator 3.0. The one that Remy has right now is the 3.0. We have like 4.4 point something. But yeah, there's a pixel art section in the thing.
Oh, you didn't think you knew.
Can you add brushes to it? It's not neat, because I don't have anything in it. Can I add brushes for it?
You can add to the section.
Oh, perfect. There we go.
Are you still on the D drive?
What's his problems? Let's look at finding.
Yeah, it's like,
Man.
if you're not doing that, it's creative.
A lot of fashion
I
and
think
vision.
it's actually
Yes,
faster.
dreams. Yes, goals.
It's missing like.
Look at that. Yes, logo. Oh my. There we go. Erase his entire.
You know the
entire. Why would you put your dash? There we go. Fuck. So I hate when the Creator like registers my title brush. There we go.
Sorry. I mean,
Yeah, okay, let's start off with this one. Who
Yeah.
else has the problem?
Alright.
Oh.
How do you get rid of the ugly?
Yeah, does he have a scale?
Don't
know.
Wait, this?
Yeah.
I think on the very right.
See, you have it. So yeah, it must be old. It must be older versions of Creed that we don't have.
His body's gone now.
Oh, you don't have it?
Well, they don't have it to begin with.
Oh.
You have to configure it yourself. Yeah.
What? Pixel brush?
Oh man, okay.
Oh my god, I just noticed it's a firewall.
I just like how Remy gives the platform for Windows Plus. Is it not lagging anymore, Remy? It's not lagging anymore, right?
It's not. I took away the object. That's really delay.
So it should be good now?
Yeah, she gets.
Hopefully I should get the, can I get the updated version then?
Yeah, I have it on my USB.
Alright. Oh, this boss.
So this is what happens the last one.
The lumberjack one?
Oh,
That one
What's
was
the problem? What's the
That
problem?
one's hard to
That
one.
one's okay. Just
hard. Kind of
Nice!
one of those things that made it easy.
I'm gonna give that a 10 out of 10.
rear wheel. I'll just search for it.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to fix it?
This will probably.
There we go. I made ground.
All right, one more.
Did you actually?
Everyone else? Do I have everyone else? Yeah,
For some
yeah.
reason, I can't.
Yeah, look. Oh, man.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So.
grab. Grab. Nice now, do
I'll help you with it in a little bit.
it. Yeah. Staring at your soul.
Oh my goodness.
It's a payments.
Oh, you just zoomed out.
Yeah. That's how you do them. That's how you look at the past that stuff.
Here you go, wrap around that.
Okay.
But it's not bound to anything. It's weird. So
I
you
just caught color
Yeah.
picture as actually won't.
there has to be.
Color music.
Yeah, use the filter. Oh, don't have I really wish Creator had like shift click hold so I can like do lines. I don't think it can.
Okay, does anyone have problems?
What is it called?
I'm just called. Look for basic actually. You should look from that. Look for basic.
Pixel brush?
Alright, did that your show team Romy?
No, you didn't.
What?
You came over here and you're like, you have to do it manually. I was like, what the fuck do I have to do manually?
Ah.
Still giving you
It's still giving you the smooth, blurry crap. You got one pixel art. Alright, so anyone's got problems? Everyone done? Everyone I helped? Yeah? Alright, cool. Okay, let's go to from there, go to edit brush settings right here. Yep. It's on the top toolbar. It looks like a brush. Just put that brush. Brush right hand.
Lunch was so useful.
Okay, you're on there, right? First off, everyone on this screen. Everyone on the screen. Okay. First thing you want to do, change the diameter to 0, and then click the little arrow on the top. Change it to 1. Yeah. If by some miracle you can make it 1 perfectly at the start, then cool. But this is the easier way. So diameter. So on a like that, press 1.
Wow, look at you being smart.
Giving me this.
I'm having trouble.
Set it to 0. How many just block?
No, you don't type it.
Type it as well.
Use the magic brush thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, first. This thing.
Yeah. No, not that one. Sorry. This one. Magic wand.
Oh,
Click on that. And click on the search box. I'm doing a different layer, of course, still. And just do that.
This will give them 6.
You make it the rainbow block.
That's why you break it up.
Alright, everyone at this step.
Makes it
No, okay, well, shit. Right there.
Story line.
I can see why. No, it's a pen looking one. Right. Yeah. Go to general. Go to brush.
Do you know how to
Open it up.
like brush? I never did that.
Just drop down menu.
No.
Because I tried to remove some stuff I don't want my favorites and some what I mean. It's like I removed it, but you didn't.
You know what I need to buy? I need to just buy like a keyboard, like a key little box thing, just all the
There you
stuff.
go. Brush tip.
Keyboard on my
Serial.
my tablet. Air. The Bluetooth. Yeah, I guess.
All right, next thing you do, in that same menu, go to fade and change horizontal and vertical fade to 1. Yeah, like that. Just all the way to 1. Yep.
Not getting that.
You'll get fade. Then,
Right, you being all smart and magical.
Good. Phone is fuzzy looking.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
it's just my screen. It's a 6-year-old laptop.
you want to add 1 pixel. You don't want to be. You don't have a 0 pixel brush. Why don't you exit out?
What do you mean? I didn't. Okay.
Here, it's at 1 now. Perfect.
But if it's all, I'm still doing it.
I'm not done yet.
Okay. All right.
There's more steps. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you pick the. I picked
Oh, have you seen the new Super Mario Party?
the. Yeah.
Yeah, it's freaking good. Yeah, I honestly think it's like I love the idea of having custom blocks for your characters. You know what I mean?
Oh, I haven't seen too much of it. I haven't watched it.
Like they have dry bones returns and everything like that.
Everyone's
Anyways,
Yeah,
so
everyone is
What
here.
settings?
Super
What
Mario.
is the best mini game?
I just saw the one with like the punching one, and I heard there was the tank one for the little. What?
Yeah, I don't know.
You have to like take, you have to try to get in the picture.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, no,
Like
it's just
slap
like
people?
that looks fun.
38. Okay.
But yeah, I'm really excited for like just how the board is, because you know how like having custom
Okay,
dice
what's the
blocks
problem?
for every character just seems pretty cool.
I tried.
Oh no, there's like the Wario ones where it's like you have like 7, 5, and then -2 coins. But if you use it correctly, you're like on an item block, and you use it, when you get -2 coins, you get free items. Yeah. Keep just doing that.
No, but at
Such a cool concept.
here, now it's disappeared. Yeah.
Oh, that's all.
All right. Now that you're at this step, it's taking longer than it should have. All right. So now that you're here, around here in this other drop down menu, you'll see size, ratios, spacing, mirrors, stuff. Uncheck everything except for size and sharpness. So uncheck, check this, uncheck this. So only these. Size and sharpness only. Everyone got that? All right. So now, go to size. Make sure strength is at 1. It should be. And disable uncheck enable pen settings. So disable that. Yeah, right here. Uncheck this. All right, sharpness. This last one. Set threshold to 1. Right here. If you have strength, set strength to 1. And then uncheck enable pen settings. And if that works, you should have a pixel brush. There you go. Look at that. Clean pixels now. Now it's kind of useless because most of you already have a pixel brush to begin with, but I had to do this by myself. And I didn't know there was a pixel brush in Creative for like a year. So, oof. Any problems with this? Oh, when you're done, you can name your brush preset, whatever you want, and you can save it into your library, and you can use it at whatever time you'd like. So let's name this pixel tutorial. Press save, and you're there. Bam, bam. And you can also increase the width of the brush as well. Oh, look, perfect. All right, anyone have any problems? Okay. What? I say once you're there, make it a new name. Oh no. Yeah, it's up there. Okay. Yeah. What version of Creator are you using?
I downloaded it for
Just now.
one yesterday.
Very weird. Hey, what's your question?
I don't know what's good.
At all?
Yeah. Like,
I don't want my name to register on the goddamn thing. Oh shit, it doesn't work. Oh my goodness, how should I start? I just found what's it called? A stamping. Those are cool. Although it won't work for this because it's recurring law.
Honestly, having it just like that and repeating it over and over is well, you gotta click. It's that. It's like a grasp pop. Because I want to learn.
No, I'm just gonna save this as tested.
Everyone got this far then. Everyone got this far. As the previous kind of launching, let's try it. Alright, that's the guy in pixel art. Here's the thing though, I don't recommend you do pixel art just yet, because there's a lot of under the hood stuff that could be difficult. So I'll be for another time. Anyways, back to the presentation. We have 15 minutes left apparently. We already did all this stuff. Bam. Alright, here's the activity. Make a basic Tilesets. So how many people do we have? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Let's do groups of 2. Someone find a partner. Partner everybody. I'll give you guys a minute to partner up.
That's your best.
What?
That's your best.
have you figured out how to use not the eraser on this?
Oh, Rami.
There's an eraser that keeps on being like,
Rami! This girl is a partner. Needs a partner. Yeah, you need a partner.
Oh yeah, you see that really well. Yeah, I remember that. I have to figure out how to make it hide it.
I have no idea.
Same color.
Cool. So, what workshop is this? Right?
It's Art Strike.
Oh, Art Strike, nice. Like Tilesets, like
They're big Tilesets.
that's so cool. Like when I first learned about Tilesets from like the NES and SNES, like, and I was like, and some made so much because I was like looking at like the actual specs for like their memories and stuff after I was doing computer architecture. I was like, there's no way they could get like this amount of like pixels being filled and like colors and stuff like that. And I was like, how did they possibly do this? And when I went into the nitty gritty of the architecture, I saw how they were able to cheat memory limits by using Tilesets.
Not only that, not only do you use a bunch of tiles, you use the same tile for different clouds.
Yeah, like
the bush in the clouds. Right?
the bush in the cloud, exactly.
Classic.
Yeah. I was like, it blew my mind. I was like, that's so cool. Right on, man.
okay, I feel like
All right, everyone in groups now.
since we don't have
Who's in the group? One person down. You'll have to partner up with someone else. You have to have a group of 3.
it's like if you want to do the
You'll do a group of 3, and everyone else does groups. Hold on 1 second.
I'll do the rocks.
All right. It's not exactly rocks and trees. You don't want everyone to do the exact same thing. So, yeah. Okay. So your guys' activity for this week essentially is to create a tile set with your partner, and you'll be doing that through Discord. Here, using Discord. So there's essentially 4 different columns of props you can do. Either you can, so everyone will do. Everyone will do 2 props of the same texture or same environment of different shapes. So, like, say the grass layer and the dirt layer, right? Each of you will do a pair of those. Same for like stone. Like, it's kind of hard to see here, but it's kind of a top layer here. That's supposed to be top of the platform or whatever. So each person will be doing 1 pair of those. So one person and then another person, and then their next ones are props. You can either do 1 big prop of either 2 long or 2 wide, or you can make 2 small props, each 100 by 100 each. Make sure the next thing you gotta make sure that your tile is within a multiple of 100 by 100 long. If you're doing a tree like this, the resolution for the tree was 100 wide and 200 long. Make sense? Same thing for like say a wide platform. That would be 200 wide by 100 long. So you guys have a bit of freedom to do that. You also can pick whatever environment you'd like, as long as your 2 are different. I highly recommend doing something a bit more interesting, not just grass and dirt. It's kind of boring. Something like maybe like a cave or like a wooden platform or a cybernetic platform, something like that. That'd be cool. And once you guys are done with that, once you create it within that, you will both compile a tile map like this in a single image. So back to here. Once you've built all tiles like this, because to use the wraparound feature, you only make 1 tile at a time. But once you've created all the tiles, you will compile that into a tile map like this. Or like more like the second one. The one in the front is more of Unity end. This is more what you'll be doing. So compile it all, stack that all into a single image like this, and you'll be submitting that to the ArtStrike team. We'll be using that for the first time in a while. The ArtStrike team Discord. You all submitting it. I'll be checking it to make sure that shit's working properly. All right. You guys, any questions about what we're doing this week? As advanced as you like. Ooh. Actually, a good idea would be if you already designed your character from last week, try to create an environment that fits your character. That would be interesting.
That's gonna be pretty.
That'd be
You want to make a water level?
If
I
not,
have to make entirely essentially a water level or
well,
sky
it wouldn't
level.
be too bad.
I mean, we can use the grass block for the bottom layer.
But yeah, you guys go wild with your ideas. We want this done by hopefully next Tuesday. Your Tilesets, all right? Everyone cool with that? Everyone got it? Everyone got you? What are you doing this week?
Sure.
Any questions? Any concerns? Yes.
Are these going to be used as like resources that the club can look for later?
Exactly. That's what you're doing. This all this is for.
Alright, that's the plan.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Relate to me the center of the hallway.
Okay, so what's your goal?
What? I mean, anything else I should do? Like flowers?
No, who do flowers you have to do?
So it's on the grass. Do like a 2.5 kind of thing.
Your shaders. Other than that, ArtStrike is adjourned. Go wild, dude. Next Tuesday. Woo!
We got homework.
You got another person help you.
We got multiple.
So what's our plan?
You guys work together, okay? Oh my God! To make this clear, one person will do a pair of tiles and this many props, or that one, right? Other person will do that.
3 props and 4 tiles.
No, you can do. One person could do 2 tiles and 2 props, or 2 tiles and 1 thing.
No, in the total.
Oh, in total. No, You can have 2 props. You can have 4 props, 3 props.
But we're
As long as it fits your environment. Like say you want to do like a stalagmite and make it really tall.
Yeah. I mean, like just having your apartment look just make a whole house.
Yeah.
As a good guideline.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the word I'm using.
Oh, one more question.
Okay. Is there anything specifically that you are interested in drawing?
Well, I have a drill. Industrial. All the underwater industrial. We got an underwater industrial zone.
Never for like
Here's a way that I found it super fun.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if
I got
hairy chested lizard.
So, what kind of area?
No!
Okay,
I love it! I wish I made it myself. I'm so scared. I have a huge drone, but I'm not going to touch it. Maybe I like, have you seen Mega Shuckle?
is it the one where it's like,
Yeah, like super buff and it's like what?
Who had technical difficulties?
Oh.
So, what kind of tiles? Like concrete, like a street, like a sidewalk above a street. Huh?
so we need
Or we need like concrete bricks. Oh, like floor for like an open space.
Anytime to add each other on Discord. So you guys get it.
Concrete floor. So it should be like solid gray next to each other. Yeah, I can. So we
My
need
goal is to eventually create like
2 of those. So we want each of us to make 2 tiles that are different. 2 different tiles that should be the same thing. Okay, so how about you do concrete and I'll do bricks? And then for like props, we could have like, I don't know what.
Who wasn't in last week's workshop? Alright.
Just refer to all 3 but it's also true. So it's also Oh, did you see the buff to girl?
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen that show yet. I need to start it too. Oh yeah, I don't know. I drew this picture. I made it.
Oh, I said something amazing. That's great.
just gonna come over here.
Hell yeah. Actually, let me show you one without that section.
Okay.
Here, look great. Let me show you one without this.
Okay.
That's
I think you're going to do
Nice.
Okay, what exactly is isometric?
Isometric is kind of like MOBAs or like anywhere where it's like sort of like a prototype view, but
Okay.
side scrolling you have like
Honestly? Oh yeah, I spent.
How do you want to do the water side?
Side scrolling is
this is one of those
We should make it like industrial color.
A little bit rusty.
Okay.
Like rusty wall, rusted water, like metal beams. Yeah, in the water. I have a outside of it.
That's what I was like thinking.
So like to learn 3D, I just made this
it's
I was like,
4 hours.
I'll spend time like.
Okay.
or do you think that you just want to like
I just realized, yeah.
We could do that. We could do 2 different types of capes, sort of.
Damn, as long as it fits.
Blue like stone, like grayish.
So like,
Feels more like to me.
Last Friday. The girls next to me, like they were just like, you know what? One of them decided to draw that, and then what happens is, guess I'll die. Guess I'll die. I actually drew that. I was like, that's amazing.
Alright, so we got this.
Alright, you heading out?
I think we should focus on
Yeah, I can't discoordinate.
water. For me, the sky. And then water.
So I'm not like physically available, but I can still like
Let's write this down. Let's get it.
Discord.
Oh yeah, let's Water boys. The water boys. Can you explain?
I'm gonna head out there.
Potato.
I mean, we don't both have potato and a pink walk into west. 1 second, I forgot to also pink and a potato walk into
A boat. And everyone calls me boat TV. And like, it doesn't piss me off anymore, but at the same time.